What's good? Welcome back to my channel, Chrissyy Talks. Y'all can call me Chrissyy. Mental health. Let's talk about it. Now, this is gonna be one of my real talks, which is me sitting down, standing up, and having a real talk with y'all. Most of this is unscripted. These are coming out of my mouth, as all my shit is. So yeah, we gonna talk about it. Now, I know every year a lot of us be like, yo, next year gonna be my year. Yo, 2020 gonna be my year. 2020 vision. And we did get 2020 vision. We seen into our future. We finna die. Granted, every year is trash for me personally, but this year was just trash times 10. I'm pretty sure this was the time where a lot of us was like, we gonna get our shit together, and then 2020 was like, hell no. Now, we know one of the craziest things that happened this year was the government made, the coronavirus. Coronavirus ruins a lot of shit for us. It ruined carnivals, it ruined trips, it ruined weddings, it ruins relationships, it ruins, it just ruined a lot of shit, and one of that is quarantine. Now, quarantine, except for the people in Florida, a lot of us have to stay our asses inside. And honestly, it might not be that big of a deal. It's just like, just stay your asses home. But it is a big deal, because when you're outside and you're going through shit in your head, you at least have things to distract you. Like, you can keep yourself busy to the point where you don't gotta think about all the shit back home. And let's face it, there's a lot of people who have a lot of shit to deal with back home. They find comfort in having to go to school, having to go to work, or hanging out with friends. So you're not only just locked up in the house, but you locked up in the house with yourself. Like, you have to literally face yourself every single day, and that alone is hard for a lot of people. So for this video specifically, we're going to be talking about 3 celebrities who have been going through mental health issues in the past week or so, and that includes Kanye West, Nick Cannon, and TAMAR BRAXTON. Like I said, being in the house, being quarantined, you gotta face yourself, you gotta talk to yourself, you gotta be with yourself 24/7. That goes without saying. Like, we're always with ourselves, we're always in our minds, but not really, you know what I mean? So TAMAR BRAXTON, for those of you guys who don't know, on July 17th, she was found unresponsive at a Ritz-Carlton hotel back in downtown LA. It was that night at 9:45 that there was a possible overdose. Her boyfriend David called in saying that she was unresponsive. She might have overdosed on prescriptive pills that she was drinking, and this might have been a possible suicide attempt. Now, I don't know if a lot of you guys remember this, but one of the first things I immediately thought of is one of her posts that she made back on Instagram and Twitter saying, "Lying on this couch like this for months has become depressing. I will no longer let this global virus be a virus to my mental system. The first step is getting up. I'm in control of my actions, so I'm choosing to stop it all. The food and connection to the fear is now over." You staying in bed, you staying in the house for all this time, and I always think to myself that being alone with your own mind is one of the most dangerous things in the world. Of course, it's not when you don't have mental health issues, but when you are going through things, you have to go through them. You have to face them when you're by yourself a lot of the time. It was definitely a surprise to me to see that out of all people, TAMAR BRAXTON was the one. But one, you just never know what people's going through. Now, we later find out that TAMAR BRAXTON actually left behind a message that she was going to, I believe, tweet. But this tweet says, "I am a slave. I do not own my life, my stories, my pictures, my thoughts, or beliefs. I've asked my master to free me. I'm threatened and punished for it. The only way I see out is death. I will choose that before I continue to live like this or love like this. Please help me." That message is, of course, eerie, knowing that she might have actually tried to commit suicide. I don't believe that it has been confirmed, but that most likely is what happened. On top of that, her family has reached out to the world asking that we pray for her, so it seems like it was a suicide attempt. Now, coming from that tweet, she talks about that she doesn't own her life. She doesn't own her pictures, her beliefs. She is a slave. Now, I always say that if I were to ever make it somewhere, I'm gonna be living in my truth. Okay, I don't give a damn. I ain't no robot to nobody, living my life and y'all living it with me. But I know that it is hard for certain celebrities to say certain things, look a certain way. A lot of things are restricted, which couldn't be me, but I understand. Like, even the people that you work with, like producers in the reality TV shows, they literally do whatever the fuck they want. Y'all are under all these contracts, you're trying to hustle, make your money. I get it, Hollywood is pretty evil. But in relation to her talking about her being a slave and not owning her own shit, she did have issues with the network WeTV, who shows her family show, Braxton Family Values, and also I believe it's showing her upcoming show, Get Your Life. So the issues that she had with the Braxton Family Values is that she wasn't getting enough coins. She's not exploiting, but she's kind of exploiting her family. Like, all of the issues that they go through, they're showcasing everything, and they don't even make as much as the Kardashians. Now, I know that it's 2 different shows, 2 different people in the shows, and the Kardashians are, more famous in today's society, but they're still putting the work in. They put their work in for over dozens of seasons, so it's like, they still deserve what they deserve. Now in the teaser for her new reality TV show called Get Your Life, we see that she's already going through things.
I have to be an angry black woman in every series. I'm not playing Russian roulette with my life anymore, period.
Got a call from Tamar's lawyer, her being asked to leave the premises.
I'm not fighting my sister. I'm not fighting nobody but the devil. How about that? Hey. I've been feeling choked. I need a minute every single day.
And she was also having issues with her boyfriend, David.
I told you, I don't want Vince walking through my house again. What's your opinion about framework?
It's clearly witchcraft.
If it doesn't come from God, I can't subscribe to it.
No, you need to go in there.
David was saying that in light of all these events with her having issues with the network, that this might have been something that helped feed into her suicide attempt, which is understandable in connection to the tweet that she made. Now her family is saying that really it seems like David is the one who is a little upset and is getting into her head, because when he seen the pilot episode, he was mad over him looking too demanding and controlling. Now I'm sorry, I know reality TV ain't shit. They do show you what you look like on camera. So her family was speculating that it was really David who had issues with the show, and that kind of got into Tamar's head. But it does seem like Tamar is saying that she doesn't want to be seen as an angry black woman. It really might have just been her that also had her own issues with this show as well. But luckily since then, Tamar is responsive and she has been transferred to a mental facility, a hospital that is more in tune with mental health issues like anxiety, depression, trauma. So she is currently okay and seeking the treatment and help that she needs after this scary suicide attempt. And I do want to put this late disclaimer in saying that this video might be a little bit touchy for some people. I understand that, but you know, it's something that we have to talk about. Now back to these scary suicide talks, we're going to be talking about Nick Cannon. As many of us may already know, Nick Cannon has been terminated from his 15-year-long relationship with the network Viacom CBS. Now for those of you guys who do not know Viacom is one of the world's largest multimedia producing companies. They made a revenue of over $27 billion in 2019 alone. Now Viacom is one of those networks that is the parent company of a lot of other divisions and a lot of other networks. Like, they make a lot of motherfucking money. They have a lot of our favorite networks, movies, and shows, including CBS, MTV, BET, VH1, Paramount, Miramax, and literally so much more. It's ridiculous, including Comedy Central and Nickelodeon. The list literally goes on, and this includes Nick Cannon's shows, movies, networks, including Wild 'N Out and our beloved T-Net. Basically what had happened was on one of Nick Cannon's shows on YouTube called Cannon's Class, he was speaking on a lot of controversial things with one of his guest stars, Professor Grimm. And they were talking about racial supremacy, conspiracy theories. They were talking about the Rothschild family, which is a famous Jew in the banking business that they started back in the 1760s. Now he was saying that we as the African American people, or the African people, or the black people, we are the true Semitic people. This meaning that we are the true people, you know, of the Hebrew and the Arabic family, instead of what the world knows to be as the Jewish people.
We were truly the children of Israel, and we're defining who the Jewish people are, because I feel like if we actually can understand that construct, then we can see that there is no hate involved. When we talk about the lies, the deceit, how the fake dollar controls all of this, you can't be anti-Semitic when we are the Semitic people, when we are the same people that who they want to be. That's our birthright.
That's our birthright.
So if that's truly our birthright, there's no hate involved.
It's not.
How did this message get so misconstrued? We have to rob, steal, rape, kill, and
fight or flight,
in order to survive.
Exactly.
So then these people who didn't have what we had, and when I say we, I speak of the melanated people.
Right.
They had to be savages. They had to be barbaric. Because they're in these Nordic mountains. They're in these rough, torrential environments. So they're acting as animals.
Right.
So they're the ones that are actually closer to animals. They're the ones that are actually the true savages, and then they built up this conquering barbaric mentality.
So he's accused of saying some anti-Semitic comments, and honestly I don't know what he said that wasn't the truth. He has done a lot for this community, and he is a very educated man. Now I'm not going to stand here and act like I know everything that he was talking about. All I know is that I'm sure that he knows what he's talking about. I don't mean to brag, but Nick Cannon went to Howard University. Okay, HBCU. Okay, HU, you know. Howard University is also the school that I attend. Him not only having the passion for what he teaches and what he knows, but him going to a school that backs that up. He's a very educated man, and he knows what he's talking about. He knows our history, and Howard itself, they have a big research center that houses a lot of real documents, real records of black life going from hundreds and hundreds of years ago. He has everything that he needs to be an educated black man. I mean, we all do have everything that we need. We have all the resources, and he's clearly someone who has used them and tries to feed back into the community. From the small clip that I've seen where he's talking about them being savages and animals, he doesn't even, okay. Not only have you been called animals and famously monkeys, which is dumb because, I mean, according to science, we all evolved from monkeys, but we have been treated like animals and savages and then some. So I don't understand, because in this clip alone, he doesn't say that white people or Jewish people, that they are savages or animals, as they have said to us multiple times, but he said that they were acting like savages and animals. And yes, they were. The things that white people have done is way past inhumane. Like, it's literally above me. It's evil, disgusting, gory, just like past evil type shit. The way Viacom responded to this really made it seem like he said the worst thing in the world, and I'm very confused, because what did he say that was wrong? He didn't outright slander the Jewish community. He did not say anything bad towards Jewish people. That was the main thing that, like, I want to say about this. So I'm very confused on why he got fired from a 15-year-long relationship with this network. And what makes me more mad about the situation is that America is in chaos when it comes to Black Lives Matter. So what you decide to do, Viacom, as someone who don't like, you know, these type of comments, you decide to target someone who you have a 15-year-long relationship with, who you made executive producer over a whole network and a show, who you showcased their movies, shows, you made money off of this man. You decide to let him go because of his comments. You decide to let this man who is an activist, who is fighting for a lot of the things, like, wait, okay. Can we remind the fact that Viacom is a father company, or has rights to BET, to MTV, to VH1. You guys have rights to all of these networks where you showcase black people. What you decide to do in this world, at this time where Black Lives Matter is very sensitive, is let go a black person who is all for it. You let him go because he made comments that didn't even really directly offend the Jewish community. Now, I can't speak for the Jewish people who were offended, because yeah, your history has been questioned, but all I could say is learn your history. Learn your history. I'm not saying anyone's right or wrong, but I ain't gonna sit here and say Nick Cannon was wrong. He's an educated man, and I stick behind that. And a lot of things that we have been taught in history, even in religion, is wrong. a lot of that shit is wrong. I mean, I just think that that situation was wrong, but to continue talking about the mental health in this case, not only was he fired from Viacom, he then apologized to the Jewish community. He says, "First and foremost, I extend my deepest and most sincere apologies to my Jewish sisters and brothers for the hurtful and divisive words that came out of my mouth during my interview with Richard Griffin. They reinforced the worst stereotypes of a proud and magnificent people, and I feel ashamed of the uniformed and naive place that these words came from. The video of this interview has since been removed." When he got fired from Viacom, he was receiving a lot of support because we didn't believe he did anything wrong. We didn't believe he should be fired. We do have a lot of love and support and passion for Nick Cannon. He's done a lot for us, and we stand by him. So when he apologized to the Jewish community and apologized for what he said and took down the video, it kind of seemed to some of people in the black community that he was selling out. Like, why are you apologizing for the words you said? You didn't say anything wrong. You're selling out. So as you can imagine, Nick Cannon is getting all this backlash from these different angles. It's like you got the Jewish community and then you have the black community. And even though there's love on both sides, there's still hate. And even though we love the love, the hate kind of hurts 10 times harder. He came out with a tweet saying, "I hurt an entire community and it pained me to my core. I thought it couldn't get any worse. Then I watched my own community turn on me and call me a sellout for apologizing. Good night. Enjoy Earth. So when he said this tweet and he said like, goodbye, I'm out of this fucking planet, it raised a lot of concern, especially after the Tamar Braxton situation. People were saying that, is this like a suicide note? Like, what is he trying to say? These same thoughts are kind of later confirmed when he lost his recent friend and his artist that was signed to his record label, 23-year-old Ryan Bowers. And when that happened, from a since deleted Instagram post, Nick Cannon has said, just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, 2020 is definitely the most fucked up year I've ever witnessed. After waking up and barely rising from my own dark contemplation of continuing my physical existence on this planet, this powerful warrior actually had the balls to do it. So in this post, he kind of does hint to and admit that he's had his own dark thoughts about committing suicide or continuing his physical existence on this planet. And again, you can imagine being a celebrity, being in the public eye, having everybody watching you, having everybody judge you and make comments. It's gonna get to you at some point. And so him having all this stuff back to back, Viacom, backlash from 2 different communities, and now his friend committing suicide, it's like, can't wonder why he would have these thoughts. Nick is coming out with another podcast episode with a rabbi, so stay tuned for that, and I may do an updated video after that comes out. Now we're gonna move lenses and talk about Kanye West's problematic ass. We know that Kanye West is trying to run for president in this 2020 election. Now it's kind of confusing because it's like, I'm seeing articles that he dropped out, he's back in, he dropped out, he didn't make the requirements, A, B, and C. I don't know what the fuck is going on. His family thinks that, you know, this is all from a mental breakdown. No one knows what's really going on with Kanye, and that's the most concerning thing. Like, what is going on with Kanye? So I guess he did decide to try to run for president, and he did have a rally back in South Carolina the other week. And in this rally, again, people speculate that he has a mental breakdown. He makes another alarming comment that Harriet Tubman never actually freed the slaves. She was actually transporting them to work for other white people. I don't know where he gets this stuff from.
When Harriet Tubman never actually freed the slaves. She just had the slaves go work for other white people.
Y'all, we leaving right now.
And then we see him breaking down, crying over him wanting Kim to have an abortion when he had his daughter Nora. We love you, about giving people $1 million if they have a kid. Now, Kanye did say a lot of crazy shit, but if anybody watching this want to hit me up, you know, go half on the baby. So not only did he have a couple outbursts in this rally, but he also goes to Twitter and posts a lot of random shit, including talking about North, talking about how Kim wants him to go see a doctor. This is kind of a Get Out situation. The movie Get Out was about him. He's over here texting Kris Jenner talking about, you want to talk or go to war, threatening his mother-in-law, how Kim and Kris are putting out things without his approval. He's talking about a lot of shit, including divorcing Kim and white supremacy, Drake, Meek Mill, just a lot of things. But everyone is speculating that he's going through a mental breakdown because we all know that he has bipolar disorder, which he talks about in an interview back 2 years ago with Charlamagne the God. I honestly just feel like somebody needs to take his phone the fuck away from him. We don't know what's going on with Kanye, but we do know that he has mental health issues and that he do not be taking his meds sometimes, and he does go on rants, and it's like you're sitting here literally watching this man deteriorate himself. Because at the end of the day, we all know that not only he has demons, but we all have demons. So there's not really much to say about Kanye West except that we're just trying to figure out what's going on and we're just hoping the best for him. But to jump off of that and talk about the media in terms of mental health, there's different ways that I see how people respond to this type of shit. I very much believe that a majority of us pretend to care about mental health, or we don't really care about mental health. There's people who will claim to care about mental health, but at the same time they'll be like, oh, you never want to go out, you're so boring. Oh, you're always so sad all the time. They get annoyed because you want to rant to them or you want someone to vent to. They'll act like they care about mental health and they'll act like they'll be there for you when you need it, but they'll call you annoying for all these little things that you cannot help. I mean, that's what mental health looks like. And to be honest, a lot of people don't want to deal with it. As much as we'd like to think that we're a good friend and that we care about our friends, they don't want to deal with the baggage of somebody else's mental health. Not saying that we should, because people need to face their own mental health at the end of the day, but not taking time to understand effects of mental health in somebody's every single day life. Then you have my generation where it's like every time I go on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, there'll be a lot of pictures, quotes, whatever that talk about basically ignoring your mental health, not giving a fuck, not trusting nobody, not caring about love, not loving people no more, staying to yourself, distancing yourself. Again, fuck everybody. Like, that is the big mood in my generation. And really, we're just big ass crybabies and we try to hide it. When you go on social media and you see a lot of people reposting, sharing, following, liking, commenting on these quotes that praise you not giving a fuck about your emotions or about other people or whatever the case. Whenever you see a large group of people following the way that people think because it's cool or because that's just the way it is, because that's the way that you should be, whatever, that is literally, I mean, that is a trend. Like, that is a trend. And not caring about your mental health, it seems like it's a trend because people want to do all the same shit and act the same way out of being heartbroken or out of having genuine issues. It's like, nah, we shouldn't be encouraging each other to say fuck it or take drugs and take alcohol, take lean. We tell each other to do everything except address the situation. Now, we of course have a large stigma on mental health in the Black community. We have the stigma that going to therapist means you're crazy. Some of our families think that praying to God fixes everything. Some of us see the bills that it'll take to go to therapy and we're just like, hell nah. We don't have a lot of therapy offices in our neighborhoods. We have churches, we have drugstores, we have liquor stores, we have everything that is not really helpful to our mental health. But we choose to do all these other things except face our mental health. And what really blows me about this whole situation with mental health and us ignoring it is the fact that we all go through it. We all go through shit. Now, some of us go through it more than others. Some of us feel the hit more than others. Some of us have different perception. But we all hurt. So I feel like if we all have this foundation of we all hurt, what is it so hard to understand when we see other people hurting? I'm not saying we all have felt suicidal, depressed. I'm not saying we all have anxiety. Having the basic human emotion of feeling sad, I feel like is enough to understand the base and understand the foundation of how somebody else might feel times 12. Now, if you look back to my further videos, you might see fat ass Kelly Price. I ain't had no edges, my teeth was fucked up, I was fucked up, and that was literally my depression and my anxiety showing in its physical form. I didn't even know that I was gaining weight. That shit crept up on me. I would literally take a picture and be like, why the fuck Snapchat make my face look fat? And bitch, in reality, I was fat. I was going through it and I didn't even know I was going through it. And so you see me standing here today, I look skinnier, I have changed my hair, I changed my exterior, but I still haven't faced my interior because I know for a fact that that's the scariest thing that I'm gonna have to go through is facing myself. And I know for a fact that me being alone with my thoughts is a dangerous thing, as it might have been for Tamar and Nick Cannon and Kanye West, who are going through their own shit. I still go through my own shit. Like, I still go through my own shit. We all go through shit. We all understand what it's like. So why aren't we nicer to each other? Why aren't we talking to people? Why aren't we doing something about it? Mental health, a lot of people either try to act like they care about it, a lot of people sweep it under the rug, a lot of people try to bring awareness, but it's never ever a conversation, and really needs to be one of the most important conversations we have. You see our president, he is one of the faces of having mental health issues. So I would never understand why this is a conversation that people, especially the Black people, shy away from. I know it's a weird concept to face mental health issues, but it's a real issue. And then you have to understand that things that seem so easy for you is not easy for the next person. I ain't trying, I already cried on my channel once, I ain't finna cry again. But something as simple as going to the bathroom in class, or speaking up in class, or going to the cafeteria to eat, that should be hard as hell for me. And at the same time, I know that nobody would think it's such an issue. Like, just go to the bathroom if you need to use the bathroom. Just raise your hand if you want to say something in class. Just go to the cafeteria if you want to eat. Shit like that, that's so simple, it's hard for me. So I can only imagine simpler shit that is very hard for other people to do, because mental health truly takes a lot of control. Now, don't get me wrong, we have a lot more control over our mental health than we think, and forgetting that is one of the key reasons why we often lose our battles to mental health. Based off of someone's perception, based off of what they go through, based off of their literal mental health issues like anxiety, bipolar disorder, depression, etc. The little simple things that you think it's just so easy, or it's no big deal. It is a truly big deal for other people. And like I said, this is a real talk, so I'm just talking to y'all, and my mind's kind of all over the place, and I'm not sure if this is organized, but it just comes down to say that mental health is a real thing. Obviously, it's always been a real thing. I don't understand why people don't want to talk about it. And it's like, you see people like Kanye West and you don't understand it. Well, understand it, educate. Everyone don't act the same, and I don't know why people expect people to be normal. What is normal? There's no normal. That doesn't exist. And so seeing these suicide notes or suicide thoughts from these celebrities, people like to think, oh, they have money, they're celebrities, what problems do they have? And I know a lot of our problems could be solved with money, you know, but it really can't solve everything. You still have your thoughts at the end of the day. You might go out and have fun with your friends, but once you go back into your room and you're by yourself, you really have to face yourself. And that's a scary ass thing for some people, especially in this time of 2020 alone, but this time of quarantine and having to be in the house all the time. Trust and believe. I know people are going through shit. I know I be going through shit, and it's crazy to see these celebrities go through shit, but I just really wanted to make a video I just think we need to stop acting like it don't exist. We need to stop acting like we don't go through shit. I'm just gonna end this video saying that I hope for the best for Tamar Braxton, Nick Cannon, and Kanye West. I truthfully hope that they get the help they need. I know for sure Nick Cannon didn't deserve all the backlash that he has. We need to protect the hell out of Nick Cannon, okay? Kanye West needs to get off his phone. Okay, Tamar Braxton, I hope if she truly feels like this as a slave, I hope she turns the cameras off and truly gets back to Tamar. But that is the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down what you guys think. What do you guys think about Kanye? Do you guys agree or disagree with what Nick Cannon said? Do you think he said anything wrong? Do you think that the Braxton family deserves their coins? Comment down what you guys think below. Follow me on Instagram at my Snapchat at h.chrissy2ss2y's. I love and appreciate you guys. Stay safe and stay tuned. I hope you guys are genuinely okay during this time of quarantine and this crazy ass year. And I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye guys.
She the God, she the God, she the God.